Copper on a weekly chart shows copper in cyan and the 10-week simple moving average in reddish and the 65-week simple moving average in black. And copper has been underperforming the S&P 500 since the beginning of the year, January, and lately has been in a range-bound activity here. So maybe the underperformance of copper is going to change soon. Or it could be a rest for another leg down, but there isn't too much underneath there until you go back to the COVID crash era back here in June of 2020. And the copper weekly chart has a symmetrical triangle it's been stuck in and could bust out either way to the upside or the downside, and the move would be a 10.5% to the upside or downside, whichever way it decides. And it looks like what will decide copper's fate is the US dollar to the Chinese yuan or renminbi. And you can see on 8:30 or so right there that the US dollar was underperforming the yuan. And then you can see over here on 8:28 that copper hit the top of that symmetrical triangle for some upside, and then the dollar shot back up for about 9.6 or 9.7, and then you can see over here that the copper went down and hit the bottom of that symmetrical triangle. And then after that, it looks like the US dollar was underperforming the Chinese yuan. And then you can see that it's about to bust out of that symmetrical triangle to the upside. And the MACD is right underneath zero at negative 0.030. And wants to get above its signal line here. You can see in the thumbnail, so if it can do that and get above zero, there could be some moves to the upside, but you can see the range-bound activity in the MACD also. And then the PPO extreme for the weekly copper shows that if it does bust out of that symmetrical triangle, the first stop would be up here at this first blue horizontal line that's anchored at this top over here, and then back to the COVID crash era in July, August back here. So that would be the first stop, and I'm not sure if that would be the 10.5% move. If it's not and there's more room to the upside, then there's this horizontal line here from the beginning of the year right here, and that goes back to the COVID crash era too, at a couple of points here where it hit. So those would be targets to the upside if there's a breakout, and then, well, to the downside, I didn't do anything down here, so I'm really expecting a breakout to the upside for copper. And it really depends on if Z and company over there in China can bolster its yuan against the dollar.